3 rounds to go, team, and quickly want to ask, how many trades you got left? I want to see some zeros. I want to see some ones, some twos, some threes. I got 1,041, and it was looking like an absolutely tremendous score until Drinky absolutely dropped one on my head, unfortunately, with 102. The only guy that I think is very, very highly owned in the guys that I don't have. And to be honest, for the most part, not owning him has been completely fine. But that one was the dagger, unfortunately, there. So, yeah, not exactly what I wanted. Given, I think, coming into that last game, I had no players. My loop kicked in of Jackson Ford, and I think I was sitting at 350th overall. So I was like, oh, if I can hang around 500th, that'd be cool. That'd be a really good week. And then, yeah, probably drop back another 150 base on Drinky going nuts. But it was a tremendous showing. Popped up everywhere, showed absolutely everything. And if you're an owner, you would have been absolutely cheering on that one. And people were looking at looping him out, and I saw some people did, just with how average he's been in general. But very, very clear now that Knights are the team to target against, unfortunately. So that's my squad. A lot of good scores in there. Very happy with Naf White. We had Nico Hines, King Tonga in there. Donahue's 54 was good. Jackson Ford to 64. Unfortunately, looping, deciding to leave Fermor in 8 and play Garrick, who was on 17 in about 17 minutes. And then 5 minutes later got injured, unfortunately. That looked really awful on his shoulder there. And having Bo at centre, picked up that try early. Looped out Watson, so there's a lot of good things that happened. Captaining the best captain there with Payne Haas's 83. Lots of great things, and then just, that tough one with Garrick there, and then not owning Drinkwater. But still managed to gain a few ranks. 723 I was last week, but the couple of weeks before 519. So I was hoping to get back to that, but it might take another couple of weeks. And personally, heading into this one for me, we're sitting in a situation where Garrick is out now, and it looks like Jackson Ford suspension. I'm not sure if he's taking the early play or not. Still going to blow up about that. Oh, Adam Dewey as well, 62. What a jet. So at the moment, with Hines on bye, with Garrick injured and Ford suspended, I have the 3 out, so I've got the 18 viable players. And I was just mucking around with some potential looping. I've got Dragons playing first in the week against the South. King Tonga's been great. He's one of the only guys, the main guys that are making cash for me, because Watson's in free fall at the moment. Crichton's doing okay. A fair few guys doing their job. Like Trebojevich's 43 was fine as well. Naf White probably going up as well. But sitting there with Tarpanay in 5, King Tonga at 6 right now, and Hosking at 7. But what we do need to get clear is which are the guys in this squad that are the more dominant, like the guys that I'm pretty comfortable with. Like Watson's not on that list right now. Let's just go through it now. So we got Garrick gone, Ford gone, and Hines gone this week. I'd have Hosking probably behind King Tonga right now. I'd have Watson definitely behind King Tonga right now. So there's 5, which leaves me at 16 players. King Tonga would be the 16th. And we've got guys like Tarpanay that we're a little bit worried about. My centers and wing fullbacks should be fine. So generally this week, about 15 to 16 strong enough players that I'm pretty happy with. And then there's some looping to do. And in terms of trades with the 3, there's a little bit we can do. We can do the 1 trade, and it could be like Jackson Ford, 616. And then in that case, with the 2 guys out, like let's just say I was to keep Garrick in the side, I have emergency 5 and emergency 6, basically, that I can loop, potentially through center and wing fullback as well. Could be a little bit of a play. We've got a few guys to move around with Dewey there. We've got Karaz and Turbo that can go up and down. Fermor can move up to edge, these types of things as well. So, yeah, interesting to see how that one could play out, or we just go a little bit more simply in 5 and 6. The other way we could play it in the half position, looping there with, Donahue would have to go to hooker. Dewey would have to go to centre or into half. So centre for him. And could loop that way as well. So King Tonga could sit a little bit lower. But there are a few options in the side, like Jackson Ford. If he was to be sold in terms of guys that are available this week, I can actually go straight to Reece Walsh, Grease Lightning, which is pretty cool. 619 on the dot for him with that 3K extra I've got. He's cool. Drinkwater in there as well, but does miss one game. So they're the two top scorers, like as we scroll down. Mo Fodawaker, Mitchy boy. Could potentially get him. Duncan back on the edge with some good scoring. Hopgood at 571. He comes into the fray. Kenny at fullback. Love to have Trey Fuller, but too expensive, of course he is, because he's too good. Shiba. Tino, 541. I don't mind that at all. Hit a really nice 48. So he's kind of the fun play down there, I think, and should finish off the rest of the year. So there are a collection of guys there that we could muck around and play with. Now, if I was to do a double trade, I'm looking at like Ford and Garrick, if I was to double it up. And in that scenario, I'd probably want to go up to a Wishy or a Ben Hunt, something like that. So it's an extra about 40-ish thousand. And then I'd have to go down about 40,000 from Ford, and that's where Hopgood would work. That's where Tino would work. Those types of plays there. So that's if I went to the double. And given South players, I'm not going to be able to get to like a Latrell, and so temperamental with his body. Won't want any Dragons. Panthers, I'm not going to buy any of them. Raiders, it'd be more around the looping. I don't think I could be selling, like Hosking could be sold as well if he's a bench player. That's, part of my general thoughts. Storm players, Wishy would be the one. So that's the good thing about looping the Dragons and the Raiders early, is that then I could make the Wishart decision. And then the second trade of like Tino or Hopgood would be fine following that. Yeah, and the Eels one there, and the Titans are just before them. So yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts around the side. I really need to get into top 500 now. The goals are and expectations are changing just a little bit, given you're having a pretty good week overall. Yes, one injury hurt. Katoa hurt a little bit as well with this 34, but having a lot of the really high scores of the week to not make those ranks, it just shows that it only takes one or two guys to slow you down, which for some people this week was Watson with his 18. And yeah, if anyone who didn't have Drinkwater, and then you can win it all back with having guys like that, and a him and a Hines, or having Haas as captain. These types of things can all help out plenty. So that is where I'm at. Now, rankings. Mr. Andrew, he copped a bit this week from Daniel, that had an incredible score of 1,103 to Andrew's 1,019. So fortunately, it wasn't his best week. He had, Garrick as well. Like myself there, played him. Wasn't able to take Cook's score in the end. So that part was tough. And then Adam Fanua Blake's 26 and ICAT's 34. Slowed him down, but a couple of good scores out of Drinky and KPP to finish. And Bradley was solid, that type of stuff there. So it wasn't all doom and gloom, but it does bring Daniel 40 points behind him now. And as we've seen over the last few years, it's never an easy win. So whoever does get the win, especially out of those two, they've got the clear advantage right now, given Andrew's now 148 points behind Ryan, who flew with 1,108 in this one. Cooper sitting in fourth, with Jake just behind him in fifth with a solid score of 1,058, with Cooper just getting ahead of him by one. So yeah, sitting with that comfortable lead, the two up top. Daniel, I know, has 0 trades, and Andrew's sitting at 1. So yeah, with Daniel there, the team's just so good that it's the no trades is not bothering him. And unfortunately, the people that were injured or out this week are the point of difference, players like Garrick and Ford. So affected Andrew a little bit, but gives him a looper, and didn't affect Daniel, I don't believe. No, he's got Watson sitting down there. So unfortunately for Andrew, didn't affect Daniel in that one. Now, the other legends that I'm following along with, the Tice, unfortunately missed out on the Drinky situation. We've got Harry up there in 13th and Nige in 15th there. Jordan from the Podcasters League in at 9th. So really, really good few weeks for him. 1,055 kept him up in the hunt. Congrats to everyone for just doing an incredible effort across this season. And all right, so yeah, the rest of the private crew, just to give you all a bit of a shout. We've got Les in there, getting closer now into rank 22 after 1,094. We've got Johnny in there at 28, so 7 in the top 28 is crazy. 34th for Brody. yeah, so 8 players in the top 50. 8 of the top 34. That's probably the best we've had all year, actually. So that makes me super duper proud. Even though I was getting a little bit selfish. What do we got? 15 in the top 1,000. I was getting in top 100. Sorry, I was getting a little bit selfish in that game at the end there with Trinky when he was going nuts. I was, not happy about it because a 50 would be fine, right? He scored 50s and 60s, and it's like solid enough. He got it against a pretty an easier team and stuff like that, but he went off, and I was in my feels, and that was like, it's all right. We've got the boys here doing well. We need to keep them going. So, great to see 8 in that top 34. It's wild. All right, podcasters. I moved into 4th, so that was good. That was a good push. Austin, I'm coming for you. 160 points, so I think you end up with a pretty good week. 1,069. Nick had a stormer. 1120. Holy moly. So I snuck ahead of Terrence and... Who else do we think? I think Jake had an absolute shocker, the poor fella. What do you have? 840. That is whack. So definitely no drinky. Had to play Fainu. Looks like he's down to no trades. This is where the unluckiness can come. And like your incredible season can go down the gurgler, unfortunately. So really, really sorry to see that from Jakey. Like, to have such a good season and see it fall off like that is not what we want. You can get beat by 50 and 100 like in these weeks where people go well, but as long as you're doing okay as well. I hope he hasn't ran out of trades, but it looks like I imagine he has. Who else would he have traded out? Maybe Latu? Just hoping. He got minutes too. Got minutes as well. We got Longy in there. What's he at? 1,039. 985 for him. Not the worst, not the best. Marky Jessup's having a really good back end of the season after the tough start. So into the top 2K for him. We got Scoot down there as well. Nicky, who we had on last night, into the top 5K. Scoopy had a 977. So just kind of holding steady there himself and flying in Supercoach this year. Anything else to touch on? Anything else? Not really, hey. Private group team I had to give up on. I was too sad after I left out Teddy last week, not getting the loop sorted out. So we left that to the wayside. But 3 weeks to go. Love to know that you've made it all the way to the end of this one. Still always a decent amount to talk about, even if there's not too many trades going around. And we'll get into the best buys and all the good stuff tomorrow night. Did I get out tomorrow night? We'll see. Tomorrow night or Wednesday there. Should have some rainy days. Actually end up getting to go to coaching this afternoon. The sun came out and it was dry enough, I suppose, to get some soccer and some cricket in as well. So thanks so much for tuning in for this one, guys. I hope you have a cracking rest of your Monday evening, and we'll catch you in tomorrow's video. TLT. And wait for Mitch. I don't know if he's got any trades left, but he'll be chatting very, very shortly tomorrow morning. See you, team.